I've spoken a lot about London and the South in my past videos, and it's finally time to head up north, speaking about what High Speed 3 is and when it will be coming. So what is High Speed 3? Well, it's a new major high-speed rail line proposed in the north of England. It's aimed at improving public transportation times between major cities in the north, including Liverpool, Manchester, Leeds, Newcastle, Hull, and York. By linking these cities together, it will allow them to compete together as one larger economy, as opposed to competing against each other. It's regularly been referred to as the Northern Powerhouse Rail, or HSN, which stands for High Speed North. Anyway, let's go back in time and see what's been proposed and what's currently on the ground. Well, in all honesty, it seems a bit of a mess personally. Being from the south, I don't know too much about the Northern Rail system, but looking at this map, it's just an absolute mess. Generally, there are several east to west routes, as well as a couple north to south. The core two routes seem to travel from the east coast around the Hull area via Doncaster, Macclesfield and Sheffield, then on to Stockport and Manchester, while a northern route goes via Leeds. And from there, it then heads off on one of two routes to Liverpool. This is roughly what HS3 would take, generally speaking. So why do we need High Speed 3? What's the problem with the situation now? Well, just take this example. Say you're going from Hull all the way to Liverpool. This will take you about 3.5 hours on a good day. In the same time, you could go from Bristol to London, stop up for a coffee, and then be in Brussels or Paris for a candlelit dinner. My point is, the railway system in the north isn't up to scratch. It's built on the Victoria era system, which is just two tracks running fast, semi-fast, slow and freight services, which cause a huge conflict in terms of timetabling, because fast trains are having to wait for slow trains, and in all, there's not enough capacity. This in turn makes services run late, on time, and it has this massive domino effect if one thing messes up. And this is what High Speed 3 aims to reduce or completely eliminate by building new tracks, faster trains, higher capacity trains to transport more people in less time with more space. And on top of this, there's a massive remodelling scheme also being proposed. The idea was first announced by the Chancellor of the Exchequer, George Osborne, in June 2014, and he suggested it be part of the HS2 Phase 2 review, as the two projects are quite interlinked. He also estimated that the cost of the whole project will be less per mile than HS2, at a cost of £6 billion, which I don't know is good value or not. Since then, a new sub-national transport board has been made in the north of England, called Transport for the North. It's the first of its kind, and it's to deal with a variety of transport proposals in the north, including roads, rail, freight, airports, all that good stuff. And it brings together a huge amount of stakeholders, including Network Rail, Highways England, all the councils and local authorities. So it is quite a big deal, this. They further developed the Northern Powerhouse Rail Link, suggesting routes, costs, service patterns, and on top of this, saving quite a bit of cash by piggybacking off HS2 proposed routes. But let's dig into it and see what they're actually saying. And in no particular order, we'll start here. First is to build the line out of Liverpool, which will connect at Warrington before splitting in two, with one spur connecting to the planned HS2 line heading to Crewe in London, and the other to head northbound on the Manchester branch of HS2. From here, the Northern Powerhouse Rail will use existing HS2 tracks right up to Manchester, where there'll be a major redevelopment of HS2 with a Northern Powerhouse Rail hub. And from here, a new piece of track will be built via Bradford to Leeds, where it will do one of three different things. Firstly, it will connect to HS2 heading south to London again via Sheffield, or it could head on upgraded track to Hull via Selby, or the third option it could do is head north to a HS2 line to York and then upgrade the track all the way to Newcastle. There are also plans to upgrade the track between Manchester, Sheffield, an interchange with HS2, then on to Doncaster and back at Selby, where it will head off to Hull. You might be also wondering about leaving Huddersfield out, but no, this is covered by the Transpennine route upgrade. The trains wouldn't be that fast due to their current stopping service patterns and the short distances they need to cover, but they are capable of speeds of 140 mph, which is proposed, which should be good enough with a faster acceleration time. But the report also suggests these are service patterns. So here's a list of the current routes with the journey times and number of services an hour, including Manchester to Liverpool, Sheffield to Hull, and Leeds to Newcastle. With the Northern Powerhouse rail link, the times are reduced by about 25% on most services, adding thousands of extra seats into services, and this will definitely help the North out. This should give you an idea of the improvements proposed. It seems that also some update has been made recently, with a lot of the local authorities and Transport for North Transport Authority approving the whole idea, and basically saying the government needs to get that act together and just approve the thing. So what do I think of this? Well, it's a bloody good idea. I think it needs to get built. The North severely needs rail capacity, as I'm sure many of you guys that travel on it every day know. But again, it's just down to the government and getting the funding approved for it. Anyway, let me know your thoughts about it. And as always, keep safe, give us a big thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.